On September 24, Ladakh witnessed violent protests around their demands for constitutional safeguards. At least 4 people have been killed, 15 others have been injured seriously, and 30 others with minor injuries. One person has been airlifted to Delhi for treatment. So far, the Union Home Ministry or the Ladakh administration has not confirmed the deaths, but I had a brief chat with Ladakh DGP, Mr. Jamwal, SD Singh Jamwal, who confirmed the deaths a while ago. This is one of the first official confirmation of deaths in Ladakh, because so far the government has, in their official statements, they have been talking about casualties and deaths, but they have not specified the numbers. The protest in Ladakh took a violent turn yesterday as the hunger strike called jointly by Leh Apex Body and the Kargil Democratic Alliance was turned violent. A lot of young people joined the protest site yesterday, and the face of this protest was climate activist Sonam Wangchuk. He had been sitting on an on a 35-day hunger strike since September 10, along with 15 others. So on 22nd September, the health of on 23rd September, I'm sorry, the health of two of the protesters, one was 62-year-old and the other was 72. It got affected and they were hospitalized. This led to a charged atmosphere. There were allegations against the government that the demands and of the civil society leaders of Ladakh, and that they had been protesting for so long, are being ignored. So a lot of young people joined the protest yesterday, and soon they marched towards the BJP office and the Ladakh Autonomous Hill District Council's office, and they vandalized property, and there was heavy stone pelting, and the police resorted to firing. Extra deployment was made. So let me tell you about the demands of the Ladakhi leaders, why they have been protesting. So after Ladakh became a union territory in 2019, following the following the scrapping of Article 370 of the Constitution, Ladakh was turned into a UT without legislative assembly. Initially, there was euphoria, though Kargil shut down in protest, but there was euphoria in the Buddhist-dominated Leh district. And though they celebrated, but after a year, they realized that they don't have any democratic representation anymore. This led to a lot of resentment, and a people's movement was started, and that a demand was made to the government to grant a legislative assembly to Ladakh and turn it into a state. There were also resentment among the people regarding jobs and reservation. It is being said by the civil society leaders that no recruitment has been done so far. And in a press release, the Union Ministry of Home Affairs said yesterday that the process for jobs to 1,800 posts has commenced. So even they have not said that any recruitment has been done so far. So all this, and plus Ladakh has been demanding inclusion under 6th schedule of the Constitution. This provision is prevalent in some parts of Northeast. This primarily means that the leaders in Ladakh will have control over land and some other aspects, and it will give them primarily this area a tribal status. So any land deal or any transaction will have to be done with the consent of the locals. So this will give locals more power. So these are the two major demands that Ladakh has been making for the past 4 years. And Sonam Wangchuk, the climate activist who sat on the hunger strike yesterday, he mentioned in his press conference yesterday that they have proceeded on a hunger strike on 5 occasions, and every time they have to make themselves heard, they have to protest and they have to go on a strike by the MHAs. Though MHA has constituted a high-powered committee led by Minister of State of Home Nityanand Rai, This committee has government representatives as well as members from Leh Apex Body and Kargil Democratic Alliance. So, to speak more on this, we have with us Sajjad Kargili of Kargil Democratic Alliance. Welcome, sir. Can you tell us what is the situation right now in Ladakh? I believe Kargil is observing a shutdown today, and there is a curfew imposed by the authorities in Leh city today.
Fortunately, thank you, Vijita, first of all. Fortunately, both the districts of Ladakh are today very peaceful and situation is under control. But there is a sort of tense in Leh where we heard that the members of youth, Apex Body youth, they are being detained, and some of them have been detained, and many are critical, and some of the injured they have been taken to Delhi for further treatment. And unfortunately, at least 4 or 5 people lost their lives. Uh, that is the thing. But in Kargil, there is complete shutdown, and the situation is peaceful right now.
Right. Could you tell us about the people who have died? There is no information coming from the administration regarding their identities. And who are these people who were killed in the protest yesterday? Do you have any idea about it?
Even, no, even we don't know who are these people, but we have heard that there are four young people who died due to the firing from the security forces side. And unfortunately, the situation unfolded very it turned very ugly, situation. And but still we don't know who are they, and their identities has not been revealed yet.
Okay. So the government, the Ministry of Home Affairs note yesterday, press release, it squarely blames Sonam Wangchuk for all this violence, even though he was sitting on a hunger strike on behalf of Leh Apex Body and Kargil Democratic Alliance. So, what is the stand of these two groups on MHA's note blaming Mr. Wangchuk?
I think this is one of the biggest lie and baseless accusation on Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, because he was on unshan for last 14 days. This is not the first time he was on unshan. He did unshan before as well, and there was no such incident took place. But this time, when the situation, when the people saw that the protesters have been hospitalized, and they are waiting for dialogue and demanding from the government every day to announce dates, resume dialogue as earliest. But the delaying tactics by the MHA, and deliberate delaying tactics by the MHA have irked people. That's why this is the reason people, the government has failed to give a single gazetted job for the youths. There are thousands of unemployed youths in Ladakh who are roaming free today, and there is no safeguard. There is no voice for the Ladakhis. And the Ladakhis have become voiceless after the UT has been imposed in Ladakh. So I think this is the blaming tactic should not have happened, and framing someone individual personality for this entire protest is not justified. I don't think that Sonam Wangchuk is behind this, because Sonam Wangchuk he himself was on unshan for last 14 days, and we were continuously asking to the government why this security deployment is taking place in Ladakh, because for last 2 months you have also seen that the CRPF deployment have been increased in both Leh and Kargil, and both Apex Body and KDA asked to the authorities why this CRPF deployment has been increased. And the response of the administration was that due to security concern and the law and order situation, we are going to increase the security, this CRPF deployment. And now, yesterday when I saw MHA press release, and there they have mentioned that this was the pre-planned uh, uh, agitation. If they knew before that this was very much pre-planned, why they have not imposed curfew earlier? what was this deployment was doing there? Why they have not been informed earlier? Because the band was announced by apex body a day ago and through press conference. So the government is running away from the responsibilities and their failures. They're hiding behind the Sonam Wangchuk. Their failures, they're hiding their failures behind the Sonam Wangchuk, and this is not justified.
All right. So you have been engaged in the meetings of the high-powered committee with the government representatives.
Yes.
Your primary demand has been statehood and inclusion under sixth schedule of the constitution. The last meeting of the HPC was on May 27, following which on
Yes.
June 3, government came out with some notifications regarding domicile policies and preservation of languages and culture. But what went wrong from there? Because after that meeting, I think you and others, members of your delegation, they met the Home Minister. They met Home Minister Amit Shah for tea at his residence, and everything was fine till then. Then why this sudden need for protest again when the government is saying that they were working on your demands, and they were still discussing. It was being considered by the
Vijita ji,
government. That is what the press release suggests.
Vijita ji, I know that you are covering this Ladakh thing for last 3-4 years, and you are continuously covering on the Hindu, and you know better about the conditions and the circumstances we are going through in Ladakh. You know that last time when we met with Honorable Union Home Minister at his residence, and he has promised, and even I told many media persons there that they have promised us to call another meeting within 1 month, but that didn't happen for last 3 months. And both apex body and KDA, they were demanding for last 3 months to uh, give time, schedule time for the dialogue and continue the dialogue, because we stuck on public service commission issue, and the reservation which they have announced it through gazette notification has not been implemented yet. In university, the authorities are recruiting people on their own choices without consulting any stakeholder, and that they are not even taking care of any this reservation policy which the government has announced it, because our university is neither a central university nor a state university. It is a cluster university, like the constituent colleges. There are two campuses of the constituent colleges that are in University of Ladakh, that is Leh and Kargil. In both Leh and Kargil and their colleges, no reservation policy has been implemented yet, and the outsiders are coming and they are recruiting them. On the other hand, there are other jobs where the outsourcing recruitment is going on. For example, they are giving, they are tendering through some companies at hiring some employees for 1 year, for 2 years, and this kind of thing is basically frustrating the youths, because youths are not getting regular jobs for last 6 years, and the government has failed to recruit a single person, to give a gazetted position to a single person for last 6 years. There is no public service commission, and there has no recruitment has taken place for last 6 years. So these things have basically irked people, and sense of frustration and sense of insecurity is exist among the youths. That's why government should understand that. And that these delaying tactics, whenever we went for dialogue with the MHA, that have been scheduled even after any protest, any action, any padyatra. Government has not taken any. They have not given any date themselves on their own choices without any protest. So this is the thing that we can understand the lack of seriousness and lack of sensibility from the government side.
Right. So you mentioned about recruitments, etc. But there is also resentment among the people, I believe, because of bureaucratic apathy. There are no public representatives. Ladakh just has one member of parliament. And since there is no assembly, but you do have hill councils and you have councillors. So you think a government had also proposed to empower these autonomous councils. You think that would help in the future?
No, we are not seeking anything within the council domain. We are demanding we are demanding statehood for Ladakh because we want to get assembly. We want to have an assembly. We want to restoration of democratic rights so that we can elect our representatives. We could have our so that we could have our own assembly, and we can do legislation with our with the consent of our own people. So we don't want to dictate someone from the outside to Ladakh. For example, even if you talk about sixth schedule, government has the ruling party has promised to the Ladakhi people in 2019 that they will give sixth schedule to Ladakh, and you have seen the situation in Arunachal Pradesh, in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu, and Punjab recently, where due to flash floods and the climatic challenges we have seen, the worst climatic crisis we have seen. And this thing can happen in Ladakh if the government would we fail and not seriously consider the climatic challenges in Ladakh in future. So we demanding six schedule so that we can protect our environment. This is the promise from the government side, and they should fulfill their promise. What is wrong in that demanding statehood and six schedule and public service commission for Ladakh? Is this is not a crime, and this is our constitution.
So since 2023, when the HPC was formed, in your meetings with the MHA representatives, has MHA ever assured, has MHA ever given any kind of assurance on statehood or inclusion under sixth schedule of the Constitution?
First of all, they were not agree to accept our 4-point demands. Later, they have accepted that we will discuss on these 4 demands, and they have included these demands in the agenda of reference. And now we were expecting that after this reservation and this domicile dialogue, we were expecting to have dialogue on Public Service Commission Statute and Sixth Schedule. But unfortunately, till now, we didn't find any date from the MHA side, and that's why we were waiting for it. And people were very much angry, and they were doing protest and all. And there was an anchan earlier. Kargil, you may have you covered that, and also then after this anchan, which was announced by Sonam Wangchuk, we hope government should act sensibly with some wisdom, and also government should announce dates so that we can go for dialogue. The dialogue should resume as soon as possible, and we hope it's our collective responsibility also that this very sensitive region, Ladakh is very sensitive region, and we need peace here, and we want peace here. And it is our collective responsibility, both the Ladakhi leadership and the government side. But at this moment, we demand from the government to act with wisdom.
Thank you so much, Sajjad, for joining us. Thanks for watching us.